Good morning, everybody. We're gonna get going here. Get this opened. All right, everybody, how you doing this morning? We are gonna get back to working on the map. Got a few more little details we gotta wrap up this morning before we can get on to the next stage. Mostly polished stuff right now because we've got 2 more videos in the tutorial series. Oh, excuse me. We've got kingdoms and territories, and then texture painting. But those come later. All right, let me go into live chat here. And there we go. They've updated the chat functionality on the phone. Okay, so one of the things we did last time we met during the tutorial series was I was working on roads. Specifically, I put some roads in here. Now, there are different ways of doing this. Some people will do their roads beforehand, some people will do their roads after the fact. I did my roads after I had done, with this particular map, I had done it after I did the forest placement. You could probably do it a different way. It might be a little bit better to do it before forest placement as opposed to after, and here's why. So even though I've been using this tool for 2 years, I still have times when I look at things and go, you know what, I could improve my workflow. So this is gonna be one of those cases because when I decided to come in here, I originally was not going to put a map in a road in here along this river. I changed my mind after the fact and I came in here and I did. So knowing that now, I got to come in and I actually got to clear a little bit of this forest now to make way for these trees. Now, it's not that big of a deal. We literally just gonna come in here and do some sprucing up of things like this, and then we will eventually get back in here and do some placement of some things to just fine tune everything. Which will be pretty easy to do once we do the initial cleaning. So we're going to come in here like this. And basically I'm just clearing the way around. Oh, I accidentally hit the wrong one. That's one of the things that if you did this beforehand, it might be easier. But it's not a lot of trees, and there's only a couple areas where we have to polish this out, so it's not that big of a deal. We're actually going to move that up over here. But that's what we're going to work on today. And if I have time after I get this done, we're going to come in and we're going to do the one of the additional map videos for next week. We can also fine tune the placement of these things to make sure that it's got even spacing where we want it to be. Now, what I want to come in here and do now is I want to come in here and take these and say, what size were those? Those were down to 10. So we'll go ahead and do some additional placement, some fine tuning here. Oops. I don't like either one of those. Just so that we can continue to have a little bit of trees. I don't like where this one's at right here. Probably doesn't make any sense to have those there. But we can come in and say, stop. All right. All right, I'm pretty pleased with that little fixer-upper section. Now, where else do we need to do any additional trees? It's gonna depend on what we want to polish up, to be honest with you. Oh, I need to move this over. Okay, that's out of the way. We don't have to do anything over here in the dunes because those are good. There's no trees down in there. We didn't do anything there. We didn't do anything down there. Aha! This was the other area. We got a couple areas, this whole forested area we got to clean up here. I also want to do some, well, for polish in any case, we're going to do some more polishing to this forest as well because we're going to thicken it up along the northern edge of this river a little bit. Because right now there's if we scan out, you'll see this is really thick along the edge of the mountains, which we want, but then it just abruptly dies at the river. But we need to add some more of these pine trees on the other side. Not a lot, but just a little bit. I did a better job in the bottom left. You can see that's already been kind of blended a little bit better, and we're going to blend the same here. And then I want to add some more over here on the mountains to the east. But that's stuff we'll work on. And then I'll probably want to put a couple more patches of forests here and there for the polish steps today. So that's what we're going to work on this morning. And then after this, I'm probably going to stream some Last of Us. I think. It's supposed to rain this afternoon. Excuse me. It's supposed to rain this afternoon. Oh, you know what, though? Is there any bridges in here that I can do? There are some bridges. Hmm. Yeah, let's get that zoomed in a little bit. Oh, thank you. Why was it not zoomed into 100%? Yeah, let's just go ahead and can I use this? To represent a bridge? That's it. That's at 10. That's the smallest I can go. Boom. However, one of the things I don't like is the fact that our we're not going to do that. We could do that when we do the regional section. All right, let's not get sidetracked. Let's go back over here and work on this. I gotta do some trimming. We're doing some manscaping. Gonna manscape these brushes. Okay. I'm really just looking for anything where the trees kind of push along the. Some of these might be okay where they are. And some of them will actually move this over. I don't like that. Put that down in there. Okay. So in some of these cases, I can just remove these as opposed to replacing them. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. We've cleared the path along there. I don't think I'm going to do any additional. I mean, I suppose we could. Go into the stamps. They're still at size 30. Mm-mm. Give me a tall one right there. Oops, I don't need to put any trees in there. What am I doing? Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. This one we can move down. All right, now we got to work our way up through the woods here. I do want to place one of these short ones. Ah, there we go. That'll work right there. Beautiful. Come on now. That one didn't want to be moved. All right. Get one of these up and over here. Okay. Now, for the most part, this is giving us what we want, which is a little bit of clarity to the path. Get rid of that tiny little guy right there. All right, that looks pretty good. We might be able to move that down. Okay. I think those were the only paths that I needed to clear out. Let's double check. No, I think we're good. It was literally just those two paths I needed to clear along the forest. So now we could just do some touch-up work to the forests themselves. Double checking everything. Yeah. Did I put... I did. So we actually, one thing I forgot to do the other day, which we haven't done yet, and I need to do here, because I had forgotten about this little town up there. So I got to try to match this. This was just already there. All right, so the question is, how do I want to connect this place up here? Do we connect along the foothills of the mountains? Or do we or do we connect along the coast? Theoretically, we would connect along the coast, except for it might freeze sometimes. So let's do a foothills path. Like so. All right. And that gets us a little closer to this place right here. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. Are there any of the towns that I've missed? Because we need to do a save here real quick. Oh, I think we're good, bro. Okie dokie. Well, while that is saving, welcome anybody who might be new to the channel. Anybody who's tuning in, watching me do maps. This is my therapy for the day. Why does it keep resetting my YouTube chat? I think we're good. We will wrap up this tutorial map next week. What is the date, by the way? Because I feel like we're going to wrap this up by the end of the month. Yeah, next week's the last week of February, essentially. So 2 more episodes to record, which again are the Kingdoms and Territories, assuming you even want Kingdoms and Territories, and then the texture painting. Once we're done with this, it goes up into the Creative Commons section of Inkarnate, which is their Explore functionality. Probably put it up on the Reddit page. People can download it, clone it, do whatever they want with it, and then I'm going to move on to the maps for our next module, which that's going to take me probably the next several months because I got at least 20 maps to make. I may come up with more as we go through, but we got a lot of maps to make. So hopefully you like the series, and if you do, you'll be tuning in for all the things. Okie dokie. Let's see here. I apologize for the yawns. Last night was not a good sleep night. We had last night was the second night that it's getting hot here right now where we live. We're in a tropical section of the world. And so like yesterday was 94 degrees Fahrenheit and the day before was 91 degrees Fahrenheit. And so it's just kind of hot and our entire house is not air conditioned, just the office. Because we're on a homestead. And our cats have wanted to be outside at night. They're no longer wanting to be inside. But this is the first time they've been allowed to stay, for the most part. Luke and Leia have stayed outside for 4 months now, 5 months now. They just turned a year old in February. The other babies were born in May, so June, July, August, September, October, November, December. They're about 7 months old, 8 months old now, and they're more than capable. But the problem is there's a lot of stray cats because we took those rescue cats in, and there's just tons of nobody spays and neuters or animals here. There's no animal control, so that the woods behind our house, the woods area, the forest area behind our house is full of stray cats, and there's a field in front of our house which has stray cats, and in particular, there's there's 2 black males that one has a collar, so we know it's somebody's house cat that roams like ours do, and then there's another one that's feral. Um, those two fight with ours at night, and then there's a big yellow tabby who is just big, and we've seen him in the daytime. He's big. I mean, he's like easily, man, he's probably a 15-pound cat. He's big, he's old, he's just cut up and nasty and just gnarly, and he's grown up on the streets. I don't know how old he is, but he is a nasty cat. And he comes into our fucking backyard like every night um, at like 11 o'clock and tries to mark it and be dominant. And usually Chris is the warrior of the house. Usually Chris is the one who like will jump out of bed and run out and deal with it. And she like chucks rocks at him, and he's been coming around less and less. And last night he came around again. Last night he came around 3 times last night. So 3 times I had to jump up out of bed because there was like cat fights going on in the backyard, and it was like 3-on-1 where we got 3 of our cats trying to fight this one dude, and he's just fucking him up. Like he is not like 3 of my kittens. They're not kittens now. They're like 9 months old. But 3 of them are missing like thumbnail-sized tufts of fur on like the back of their head and on their hind quarter because he messed them up last night. So I did not get a lot of sleep last night because I was having cat battles in my backyard. So I apologize for the yawns. All right, let's do forest polish. So what I want to do is I want to come in here and say what size did I make these? Those were 30, which I'm happy with that. So I want to. The density is way too high, so let's bring the density down to like 25. Can I even get? There we go. It doesn't look too bad. Now bring the density down a little bit more. And let's just do one more pass right in here. That really didn't add anything, so let's bring the density up to 23. There we go. Got a few more in there. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. That gave me what I wanted. But I do need to do a little bit of manual placement here. Because every once in a while, painting the trees gets a little overzealous with the borders. Let's move this one up. Let's bring that down to there. We're going to place one here, one here. Those are bigger. All right, that looks pretty good. It's exactly what I wanted to do. Is I wanted to add a little more pine trees because, you know, things come down to the river, eat on the other side of the river, poop on the other side of the river, leave seeds on the other side of the river, and that reflects that. All right. Now, I got to do the same thing over. We need to deal with trees along here. So what was I doing for trees here? I was doing, what size are those? 50? I like 50. 50 is how old I will be in a few years. I'm still a ways away from 50, everybody. I'm only 43. I just turned 43 on the 16th of January. So I've still got a ways. So, shush. Let's put another couple of little babies right over here. Maybe put some in here too. Like so. All right, let's bring that up to 50. Time to work on these. Putting some trees in here. Do, do, do. Okay. That has given me mostly what I wanted. Okay. Let's bring the size down. I think these are 35, right? 35 is good. We want a size of perhaps that's a little too. What was the? There we go. Let's start with density 35 and see what that gets us. That's not too bad. I gotta be careful here because we got that. I may have to do manual placement on this side because we're getting close to the that road right there that we were dealing with a minute ago. Anyway, let's do a little bit more out here. Something like this. Maybe we just say that whole section is forested. Like so. Maybe even. Oops. Had a misclick. That's not too bad. I am the Bob Ross of Inkarnate. Or at least I feel like the Bob Ross of Inkarnate. Move that one back. Now we definitely want this to be forested, so I gotta be a little strategic. I don't want to hide the road. Hang on, let's. This one might need to be moved a little bit. Just bring the size down on that. That'll help me do placement in and amongst. Let's go ahead and go back to the got a little overzealous in the one painting there. It's all right. We'll deal with it. Bring that down just a little bit. Something like that. All right. Okay. Need to go to singles. Let's bring the size down so we can do placement here without getting too crazy. We definitely want this to be representative of a heavily forested area leading up to that little. Little nugget of a town. All right, let's bring the size down a little bit more, and we'll drop the the density down. And something like that. We're going to start to blend in. That's too dense. Like so. All right. Pretty happy with the results here. Got a couple I got to move out of the way. Oh, come on now. You've made a lot of changes. Consider saving your work. I will definitely save my work in a second. Thank you for reminding me, program. Anything else? That tree needs to be moved. Put that up somewhere in here. All right, I think I'm pretty pleased with that. However, one more painting swath to do. We'll come in here with these, bring them down to the 20. Get a bigger area. Like so. Do the same thing here. God, that's too dense. The density of those at 20 is way different than okay. We're gonna do a little bit more in here. Just put a couple over the river. Can we do, I don't remember if there's any in this pack or not. No, there's not, because all we have is the funky looking fake grass. And that's swamp foliage, which is not going to give me what I want. So I don't think we're going to do any. I think we're done with that. Let's take a look at the screen size. Jason says, hello, how's it going this morning? This looks great. I'm going to have to look into Inkarnate for maps right now. Good morning, Jason. I'm doing well. If you do look into Inkarnate, I'm currently building this map with the free version, which means I'm using the free asset packs. So this is what you can do with a free version of the program. Typically, I make assets in the high definition packs because I have the membership, I have the pro package. But this is essentially what you can do just on your own. anybody can do with just a simple free package. All right, those are 35. We're going to do some placement here. Oh, it's wanting me to save. All right, time to save and refresh. So yeah, I've been doing this tutorial series with the free package so that everybody can see what you can do even just with the free assets. But obviously, there's a lot more you can do once you get into the paid program. But it's so affordable. I mean, I'm not a paid spokesman for them, but I pay annually. It's $25 a year. That's a couple bucks a month to make maps. But I make maps for commercial projects, so it's worth it to me to spend it because it's a tax deduction and it allows me to create things for sale. Plus, I can export out to 8K resolution, and there's a lot of perks to having the paid version. But the free version is great if you're just doing maps for your own tabletop projects for your homebrew. Oh yeah, you could do all of this with Inkarnate. They're continually updating the program, so it's pretty awesome. This is the free version, yes. So I'll expand this here in a second once it finishes saving. I'll show you what I'm talking about since you're new here. So if you go over here into the catalog, on the left-hand side here, under my face, matter of fact, let me see what that looks like on the other screen because I need to make sure that you can actually see all of those. Yeah, you should be able to see all those. So it says Universal at the top. Um, But then it says Fantasy Battle Maps, Fantasy Regional High Definition, Fantasy World, Parchment World, Watercolor Battle Maps, Watercolor Cities. So I'm working in the Fantasy World right now, which if I do the drop down, then these are all of the asset packs I have available within that Fantasy World. And that's sort of the free stuff that you can use. You have like the core. These are all the core elements that you can use. And then beyond that, you get into all this other stuff like decorations and desert build. I mean, really, I could just click on this and we could just scroll down, and these are all the assets that you get access to basically for free. Now, if I were to go over to the high definition one, the Fantasy Regional High Def, see where it says loading art? Um, Click on that. These are all the high definition ones, which you do not get at the free version. These are way more high def. They hold up at a higher resolution. There's a lot more to work with. But we're talking, across the totality of all the asset packs, there's, I would estimate, thousands of stamps and assets that you can use. But we are just working with the Fantasy World section, which is the basic free stuff. Anyway, let's fit that to my screen. I may need to reload here because it was being kind of cranky. Yeah, I got to reload the map. It is. It is affordable. It is browser based, so you got to have an internet connection. All right, let's go back down into here because we're going to do some more tree placement. All right, bring that down to 35. And then we're going to bring the density down to 35. It's probably as much as we're going to go right there, so we'll just do it like that. That's a reasonable amount of forest. All right, do I want to add any more forest to any of this? I kind of feel like no. You know what we could do though is yeah, we can, but we're gonna do the ruined forest that comes down out of the mountains here, because these used to all be at one point in time a lush valley, and now it's not. I'm actually gonna bring the density on that up a little bit. Let's say 50. Okay. For the purpose of having just some more diversity, we probably do need to add some more of these patches somewhere throughout, just so that we have them. So maybe, man, I feel like 35 is way too big though. What size were we using over here? 25. Okay, that's a little bit better. Patch of forest there, maybe a patch there. We'll fill that in a second. Probably put a patch in here. We'll fill that in. Maybe put a patch down in here. And maybe there. Which needs a few of these in it. I don't like the way that got placed. Actually, I don't think we need that at all. I don't think I like the one I just placed there, so we're going to get rid of these. Hang on, it selected something that I don't like. Where did it go? It's not bad to have it like that. It's trying to select the path there, and that's not what I want to do. We're going to get rid of all those. I didn't like those placements. All right, let's come in here and do some individual placement now. Dun, 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 dun. All right, same thing here. We're going to come in here and do some visual placement. All right, that has added a little bit of spontaneity to the map with some more forests. I think we can call that a wrap on the forest polish. Excuse me. Rarg. I probably need to go make some more coffee. What time is it? 9 o'clock. I need to see what time it's going to rain today. Because Chris is coming back around 2 o'clock. She said she's bringing her niece, who's going to stay the weekend again with us. But it's going to rain, and I got to put some dirt in bags before the rain gets it all wet. But I think I got a few more hours. Let me go check the weather. Oh, wow. Yeah, now it's pushed the rain back until this evening. So I've probably got until looks like 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, potentially. Okay. Jason says I'm in Inkarnate now, making me a simple forest battle map. There you go. And there's tons of map tiles you can make as well. There's just um, lots of cool stuff. I mean, the map pack that we have over on our Patreon page for our prequel module has I think 24 maps in it, and those are a combination of like I've got some tavern maps, some sewer maps, some cavern maps, city maps, street maps, some regular battle maps for random encounters. We've got some big city maps. We've got some landscape maps. We've got some ship maps. We've got some dock maps with docks and ships. Just you can do a whole bunch of different stuff. Here, I can actually show you real quick. Let me just back out of this. We'll go to I've saved everything because this is what we have for one of our packs are these 20 maps. This is you can get all these in 8K resolution over at our Patreon page if you're a supporter at the Game Master tier. All of these have POIs because they're meant to go along with our tabletop module for our campaign setting, but I've got this map pack also available without the POIs so they can be used in any world, any setting at all. But you can just see here from a brief glimpse all the different types of maps you can do. You know, here's the sewers, here's the caverns, we got an underground docks, we got the city docks, we've got big open city maps, we got a basement map, a warehouse district, the tavern interior, the docks at night over here, a ship at sea, um, an underground dock close up for when we want to do actual battle maps on the ships. There's all sorts of fun stuff you can do. And then here's like our parchment map that we did for our, which is this is the map that's behind me on the wall. It's that the Weave in the Void world map down there, and then we've got our city maps with POIs. So, and this is the map. Marin's Rest is the map that we use for our point-and-click adventure games. So, that's the map my brother actually used as the base model when he was building out the game in Unreal. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. And then we have the Laughing Badger Tavern, which is part of Forkland. There's a downstairs and an upstairs with all the rooms and everything. So the player characters, when they actually get to the city, if they choose to take over that tavern, they then have that at their disposal. And there's a couple of suites upstairs. So yeah, you can do all sorts of different stuff. I'm just looking at this from an eye level view now, thinking if there's anything else I need to do. And I think the only thing I want to do right now is I want to kind of expand upon the edging of this forest just a little bit. Oh, that's way too dense. What I do? We're just doing polish now. That whole section. Now what I want to do is I want to come in here and say, add some more density to this forest. There we go. That looks a little better. Okay. Now let's go ahead and add a little more randomness to this so that it's not quite. I'm going to flesh out the density of this quite a bit more because it didn't look as dense as I wanted it. All right, that looks pretty good. Gotta clean up a couple of edging details here. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. The only thing left is going to be the territories, texture painting. I probably need to put some trees up here though, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't really like the I still don't know if I'm going to use all these mountains or not. But let's say that we are. Let's say that we are going to use those. I need to come in here and get these snow-capped. Bring that size up to 50. Maybe place them in here like so. Now we got to drop that down to 35. That's assuming. It's assuming I even like this. I don't know that I will. Jason says, this is great. I'm using PowerPoint right now, and it's just basic stuff. Yeah, you can do a lot more with Inkarnate. Out of curiosity, let's just say I took these ones right here. I can change the hue on these to make them different if I want to. I'm going to leave those alone for now, but I want to be able to come in here and change the coloring on those once I get in here and do the texture painting. All right, let's go ahead and save. Well, it's taking its sweet time saving the map. What's up with that? There we go. All right, I can probably take my screenshot now. I feel like we're at a pretty good place to then move on to the next two tutorial maps, which are going to be the kingdoms and stuff. But that's not a today thing. That's a next week thing. So let's get our screenshot. Get that into Paint. Crop that off. Voila. Let's go ahead and save that out. All right, I'm going to sit here and stew on this for a couple minutes and just think about if there's anything else I need to add before I move on. Because I think we're pretty much done with everything we need to do apart from getting in and adding the kingdoms and outlines and stuff for that, which beyond that, we've still got to do the textures. I want to test something real quick before. I'm not going to save my test though, but I'm going to try something here. We're going to go into the brush tool. We're going to come on here with the snow tool with the snow texture. bring the opacity down, and we're going to say, what does this look like? Oh yeah, that's a little bit better. Right? Yeah, that'll be better. We can paint those on the top as well. All right, that's definitely going to be more where towards I go when I come back and do the texture painting. So I'm not going to save that though. That's for next session. So for those of you who like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Hopefully you enjoy your time with it, Jason. Enjoy making maps. Don't forget to check out the other maps in this tutorial series. There is a playlist. We've uploaded, I think, 5 or 6 episodes as we made this map. I've either live streamed or video captured the entire creation of this for the tutorial series. When I'm finished with this will go up in the explore section of Inkarnate's public maps for people to clone and download and use however they see fit. So check all that stuff out. I'll be recording the final 2 episodes for next week. Welcome to the channel, Jonathan McDonald. So check all that stuff out. Support if you can. Super chats, super stickers on these live streams. You can do super thanks on old videos. Don't forget you can join as a member of the channel here on YouTube. We have 3 different tiers. There's a Patreon page for our Tabletop World. You can get the source book. The first module, it's a 2-in-1, went on sale last May over at our Patreon page at the Game Master tier, which also includes our map packs and beyond, or you can pick up a standalone copy of the book at weaveandvoid.com. Until next time, everybody, stay safe, happy gaming, see you next time.